Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well today. So I'm going to be taking you through a couple of exercises that are aimed to help strengthen your glutes. You don't need anything except for yourselves and your mats, so if you're good to go, come and lie down and we'll get started. So for each exercise, I'll be providing some options for various intensities. Please feel free to stick with the option that you feel is best for you and suits how your body feels. So we're going to start with the shoulder bridge. So come to lie down on your back. Feet are flat at hip distance and not too close towards your bum. Arms down by the side. Gently press your triceps down into the mat. Gently draw your feet down into the mat. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, think about drawing your pubic bone up the front of your body towards your nose. This will allow the pelvis to tip, allowing you to find articulation in your back as you lift. Now, as you come up, keep pressing down into the feet, find the squeeze in your glutes and stop when you reach the top, whatever that looks like for you. Take a breath in at the top. As you exhale, think about the front ribs drawing into the back as you start to lower. Keep pulling that pubic bone up the front of the body to keep that lovely articulation. Last thing to lower are the back of the hips, followed by the glutes. Good. And we're going to take 3 more like this. Exhale, curl your tailbone. Think about that pubic bone pulling up the front of the body. Pressing down into the triceps as you lift for support. At the top, take a breath in. Exhale, think about the front ribs drawing down. Pubic bone continues to pull up. Nice and steady. Last 2. Inhale. If you'd like to add a little bit more to this next one, we're going to lift all the way up. We're going to pause at the top. We're going to lengthen the arms up to the ceiling, towards the back wall, but without letting the rib cage flare. So we want to keep the upper abdominals soft. Start to lower your way back down through the spine, bone by bone. Once your pelvis is back down on the mat, arms lift up and come back down to the side. One more like this. Deep breath in. Exhale, curl the tailbone. Draw your way up through the spine. Good. Now press down into the feet as you lift the arms. Keep pulling that pubic bone up the front of the body. Lengthen the arms up to the ceiling and back. Now if you're a bit tight in the shoulders, just keep your arms a little higher up if that feels more appropriate for you. And that will help to stop the rib cage from flaring. Arms come back down to the side and pause. I've got one more option for you. Deep breath in. We're going into some single leg. So draw yourself up, bone by bone. Once you reach the top, really press down into the feet, into those triceps. Carefully transfer your weight into your left leg. Draw your right leg up into tabletop. We're going to take 4 toe taps. Inhale, lower. Exhale, use the lower abdominals to pull the leg back up. 3 to go. Last 2. One more time. Leg comes up and then back down. Transfer the weight over into the right leg. Try to avoid moving the hips, so peel the leg off the floor. Inhale, tap the toe down. Exhale, pull up into those lower abdominals as you lift. For that support, really draw down into that right foot. Last one. Leg goes down, deep breath in. And then slowly articulate your way back down. And breathe. Good. So from the shoulder bridge, we're going to come and lie down on the left side of the body so we can do some side lying glutes. So the easiest way to set yourself up is to line your back up with the back of your mat. This will just help you to keep the spine in a nice long line, helps to keep the pelvis nice and stable and the shoulders nice and square. So you're going to rest on your bottom arm. You can have that straight if it feels more comfortable to wrap your hand around the head, that's fine. Or you can bend the elbow and rest in your hand here. Just whatever you feel is the most suitable for you. Now from here, your bottom leg is going to be bent. So think knee in front of the hip and the shin is in line with the front of your mat. Top leg lengthens away in a straight line with the rest of your body. Now from here, it can be very easy to relax. So notice at the moment my side is sinking into the mat. However, we want to create stability in the spine and the pelvis. So we want to find a sense of lift in the left side of the body. So from here, think about drawing your bottom ribs on your left side in and up, and pull your waistline in slightly. So notice how for me that creates a small gap or a feeling of lightness. So it should feel like you'll be able to fit your fingers underneath, or at least feel a sense of lightness in your tummy. From here, your top foot is flexed, so we can target a little bit more into the back line of the body. And your top hand can go either on your hip or on the floor for a little bit more support. From here, can you lengthen the leg away from you? Quite small, but what you should notice is that you find a little bit more lift in that underside and a bit more length in that top side, which is what you're aiming for. From here, we breathe in. As you exhale, keep lengthening the leg away as you lift it to about hip height. Inhale, bring it back down, and then exhale to repeat. So as you're lifting the leg, just keep an eye on whether you feel your waistline and ribs sinking back down. So by keeping this lifted, this all stays nice and secure, so we're better able to isolate into that side glute. Let's take 3 more. Last 2. Next repetition, we lift and hold. We're going to take a small turn out of that top leg, but you want to try and do it without the hip pulling back. So you want to keep your hips stacked on top of one another. So that turnout comes from the top of the hip to rotate the leg. From here, we keep the foot flexed. We're going to swing the leg forward, so we're making it a little bit harder now. We're going to point the foot. We're going to lengthen the leg away and back in line with the body, giving the glute a little bit of a squeeze to see if you can't open out that hip. We repeat, 5 more. We inhale, we draw forwards, flex the foot. We point, we exhale, we lengthen back in line with the body. Last 4. Now this is where it's harder to keep that stability in the spine and pelvis. So if you need to keep the range small in order for you to keep that, then please feel free to do so. Smaller range is going to be more beneficial for that stability than trying to get a bigger range and sinking into everything. Last 1. And then we're going to keep the leg long, foot's pointed. We're going to reach towards the wall, the foot's pointing towards, and we're going to go for little circles. That's 2. We're going for 6 more. Last 4, 3, 2, and back the other way for 8. Now keep an eye on that waistline. Have you sunk? See, I've sunk a little bit, so I need to find a bit more lift. You're in for 3, 2, 1, and relax. Whew. Lovely stuff. All right, let's bring ourselves onto the second side. So swing your legs around, or you can roll over onto the other side. So remember, line yourself up with the back of your mat. Bottom leg is bent, knee in front of the hip, shin parallel to the floor. Resting your head on your arm how you see is comfortable for you. Top leg in line with the body, foot flexed and lengthening away from you. This time it's your right side that's lifting away from the floor, so think ribs in and up, think tummy pulling in and up, and then the hand obviously can go on the mat for more support or on the hip for a little bit more of a challenge. From here, we're going to lengthen the leg away to lift, keeping the foot flexed. And then inhale, lower. And again, exhale, lift. And down. 4 to go. Now your bottom leg here. So your right leg wants to press down into the mat. So that's going to help keep the pelvis stable when you lift. Last 2. 1 more, lift and hold, little turn out of the leg. Try to keep the hips nice and square and stacked as we swing forwards. And then we pull back as we exhale, point the foot, squeeze into the glutes. 5 more, swing and pull back. Last 4. Good. Now again, take it where it feels comfortable for you, so you don't want to feel any sinking in the waist or tucking in your bum. Last 3. Last 2. Hopefully those outer glutes are firing up for you now. Ooh, 1 more for luck. Swing it forwards. Draw it back. Keep it nice and long. Keep reaching towards that wall away from you and give me those little circles. For 2. Halfway. 4 to go. Last 2. And then back the other way. Check that lift. Nearly there. 4 to go. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Well done. Give those glutes a little bit of a rub. So from your side lying position, we want to come and lie down on the front of the body, and we're going to go for a swim. Good news is this one doesn't require a pool, so it's a little bit more accessible. So if you want to lie down on your front, forehead rests on the mat, your arms are a little wider than shoulder width. Now, if you're a bit tight in the lower back or experience any lower back issues, slightly separate the legs, a little bit wider than hip width or about the width of your mat. Otherwise, can you squeeze your legs together in a parallel position for more of a challenge, and really think about the tops of your inner thighs connecting. This will draw you into your midline. From here, option 1, we're going to work just into the legs first. So think about drawing the shoulders into the back. Lengthen the crown of the head forward and the toes away from you. So this will activate the back line without you necessarily having to lift anything. Can you then pull the belly button into the back of the body and think about pulling your lower abdominals in and up? Give the glutes a little bit of a squeeze. So you haven't even moved and you're already pretty active in that back line. Take a breath in, lengthen the left leg away from you to lift up towards the ceiling. Exhale as you come back down. We repeat with the right. Lengthen away to lift. Inhale. Exhale, come back down. 2 more each way like this. Now, as you lift, if you're a little tight in the hip flexors or quads, it'll be harder to maintain stability in the hips. So really draw in and up through those lower abdominals. Again, even if it means lessening the range, completely fine. So next repetition, we're going to lift the opposite arm to leg. So left leg's going to lift, right arm's going to lift. Lower back down as you exhale. Repeat with the second side. 2 more like this each way. Last one. Oh no, I lie. Sorry. 1 more each way. I think it's an occupational requirement that Pilates instructors can't count. I am definitely one of those. Sorry team, last one. Good. Now from here, we're going to lift the head and shoulders. So think about lengthening the crown of the head forward and up. Head and shoulders lift, and we're going to keep the opposite arm and leg down as we lift to give us a little bit more stability. So this is your option 3. 2 more like this each way. This is going to be harder to maintain that pull up into the lower abdominals. So if you have that lower back issue, you can take the head and shoulders back down or focus really deep into those lower tummy muscles and those glutes. Good. Last option here. We now lift everything off together and we go for a little swim. So it's the same feeling of movement, but we go a little bit quicker. Keeping the pelvis as still as possible. Using your abdominals to keep your torso as still as possible. Really burn into the back of that body. You're in for 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Good. Counteract that extension in your spine by just taking yourself back into a child's pose. So round out your back. Well done, team. So from our swimming, we're going to go into leg pull front. This is a little bit like swimming, except you're holding a plank position. So it's almost a little bit worse than swimming, a little bit harder. If you're not confident with the plank, don't worry. I have an option to make it a little bit kinder if that's what you want to do. So I'll start with that first. So if you'd like the slightly more accessible option, you're going to come into 4-point kneeling. So hands under the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Now spread the fingers wide, a little bit of more weight into the outside of your palms. So think ring and pinky finger. And then draw your shoulders into your back. Draw the abdominals in and up. That will stop you from arching into your spine. From here, you take a breath in. As you do, you're going to lengthen your left leg out behind you and then keep lengthening it away to lift. So just like you did in a swimming, except you're coming from a bent position. And then you're going to draw the knee back in underneath the hip line. We do the same thing with the second leg. And what you're aiming to do here is just find the stability in the shoulders, the hips, and your back. So ideally, when you lift the leg, you don't really want to feel much shifting in the body, and that's how strong you are in that back and core. So if this is your option, then feel free to stick with this option. If you would like more of a challenge, hands are still underneath the shoulders. We're gonna lift the knees and come into a full plank. Essentially, the technique's still similar, just a little bit deeper. So shoulders into the back. This time, think about pulling your front ribs up and drawing your pubic bone up towards your head like you did with the shoulder bridges. So this will again help to stop you from arching in the back if this is something you have a tendency to do. And as you pull into that lower tummy, you'll feel those glutes activate. From here, like the swimmer, you lengthen the leg away to lift. Doesn't have to be big. Okay, so what that will do is just get you deeper into that back line of your legs. We're just gonna go 2 more each way, and this time I am counting. Woo. 1 more each way. And then if you want the bonus, then on the next repetition, you're gonna lift your leg, you're gonna pause, you're gonna swing back so your standing heel reaches past and gives you a calf stretch. You rock back forwards, give me 1 more, and then lower the leg down. We do the same thing with the second leg. Lengthen away, rock back, rock forwards. 1 more time, and bring the leg down. Woo! And relax. Give the wrists a little shake. Woo. 1 more. So for our final exercise, we're gonna do a little bit of balance work. So if you're ready, make your way up to standing. Now, just a side note, if you're on a more cushioned mat, this is gonna make the exercise harder in terms of finding the stability. So if you don't want this to be the extra challenge, then feel free to obviously find a harder surface to stand on. So I'm gonna do that today because my balance ain't feeling so great. So your feet want to come underneath your hips in a parallel position. Now, even though we are in parallel, we still want to create the feeling of wrap in our thighs. So imagine someone's got their hands on your legs and they're opening and wrapping your thigh muscles out and round towards your back. So this will help to open you out here and connect you more into here. Now, the big toe, little toe, and heels of both feet want to draw down into the floor. That's going to help to activate you up your leg. From here, your hands go either on the hips, they can go across the chest, or they can go behind the head, base of the skull, elbows wide, and gently press the head back into the hands to open out your shoulders and chest. From here, start to transfer the weight over into the right leg. As you do, try to stay lengthened through this right side. It can be quite easy to tip over. The challenge is to keep your torso nice and long. So just start by lifting your left heel away from the floor and just find that kind of sense of stability in that right leg. So again, big toe, little toe, heel draws down, squeeze into your glutes, okay? And then think nice and tall out of the crown of the head. From here, take a breath in. As you do, start to lift the toes just gently off the floor. Exhale as you bring yourself back down. Take a reset and we go again. Inhale, lift, just a couple of inches. Exhale, lower. 1 more like this. Now you can keep with this if you'd like a little bit more of a challenge. Lift your left leg a little higher, so think knee in line with the hip. Keep drawing down into that right leg, squeeze that butt. Back down. We've got 4 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Now this is where it's going to be really tempting to want to lean over to the side, so try your very best. Think nice and long through the top of the head. Last one, can we lift and hold for 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Good, so that right leg should be a little bit fired up. Give yourself a little shake, little rest if you need it, and then reset the body. So we set up again, feet in parallel, pressing the feet down into the floor. Wrap your thighs, hands into the position of choice, elbows wide if that's your option. Slowly bring your weight over into your left leg. Think about squeezing your left butt cheek. Start to lift the heel of the right foot off. See how that feels for you first. If you're ready, inhale, just start to lift the toes away from the floor and then exhale to lower. 3 more like this, just a small lift. Exhale, lower. 2 more. Last one. And then if you want the last 4 like this, you can keep like this. If you want that additional challenge, try and draw the right leg up a little higher. Can you do it without hitching the hip? So that's another thing to watch out for. Think about drawing the lower abdominals in as that leg comes up. Whoa, that was nearly gone. Last 2. And you'll find that one leg is likely to feel stronger than the other. Just go with that. Lift the last leg, hold it there for 4, nearly there, 3, 2, 1, and release. Well done, team. Give yourself a little shake of the legs. And that's you done with your little glute workout for today. Thank you so much for joining me, and hopefully see you again soon. Bye.